Just imagine this for a moment. The red, barren, silent world of Mars. A place we have always seen as nothing more than a cold desert planet. Suddenly revealing something so strange, so mysterious, that even NASA's most advanced scientists couldn't explain it. A shadow, moving across the Martian surface, captured not once, but multiple times by high-resolution orbiters and rovers. A shadow that wasn't supposed to be there. A shadow with no known object casting it. No mountain, no dune, no dust storm, nothing visible, and yet it moved. Slowly at first, then shifting direction as if controlled by something intelligent. As if Mars itself was hiding a secret right beneath our eyes. And this discovery shook the foundations of everything we thought we knew about the red planet. Because shadows don't move without a cause. They don't drift across barren landscapes without a body to anchor them. And the more the camera zoomed in, the stranger it became. This shadow didn't stretch like a normal shadow would under sunlight. It twisted, bent, reshaped itself like liquid darkness crawling across the Martian soil. And when the footage was slowed down, analysts noticed subtle details, almost like faint structures forming within the darkness, patterns too organized to be random, shapes that looked eerily like massive towers or outlines of colossal beings. And the question everyone feared to ask was whispered behind closed doors. What if this wasn't a shadow at all, but something alive, something hidden in a form beyond our comprehension, something moving across Mars silently, while we watched helplessly from millions of miles away? And as engineers tried to recalibrate the data, hoping it was a glitch in the sensors, the shadow reappeared at a completely different location, hundreds of kilometers away, proving it wasn't an error, proving it wasn't tied to terrain, proving it was real. And the deeper NASA dug into the files, the more unsettling the truth became, because this wasn't the first time something like this had been spotted. Buried in old mission logs from the Viking landers of the 1970s, there were fragments of reports describing anomalous surface darkening that couldn't be explained. But those records had been ignored, dismissed as camera faults, until now, when history seemed to repeat itself in a much clearer, undeniable way. And the people who saw the raw footage inside NASA described a chilling feeling, a sense that the shadow was aware of being observed, pausing for a moment as if staring back into the lens before drifting away into the dusty horizon, leaving behind only questions, only fear, and only a haunting mystery about what really moves across the surface of Mars when no one is supposed to be there. When no one is supposed to be there, yet the evidence was undeniable, and the silence in NASA's control room felt heavier than the thin Martian air itself. Because what they were watching defied not just logic, but the very laws of nature. And the more the shadow appeared, the more unsettling its behavior became. For it didn't follow the path of sunlight. It didn't stretch according to the angle of Mars' two tiny moons, Phobos and Deimos. Then it didn't act like dust clouds driven by the winds. Instead, it moved with intent, shifting direction abruptly, vanishing behind ridges, then reappearing miles away, as if it could glide through rock and sand without leaving a trace. And the strangest part was how the rovers reacted, because in moments when the shadow passed near them, their instruments glitched, cameras flickered, batteries drained faster, almost as if the very presence of this thing was feeding on energy, or worse, disrupting it deliberately. And one engineer noticed something terrifying buried in the telemetry logs. During the shadow's closest approach, the rover's seismic sensors picked up vibrations in the ground, subtle but real, like a low hum reverberating beneath the soil, as though something massive was stirring beneath the surface. And this opened a chilling possibility. What if the shadow was not an illusion on the ground, but the surface projection of something hidden below, something buried deep inside Mars, waiting, moving, and watching? And suddenly those old myths and speculations about Mars being once alive, about civilizations carving canals and building monuments, didn't seem so far-fetched anymore. Because what if Mars never truly died? What if it simply went silent, hiding its last great secret in plain sight, waiting for us to arrive before revealing itself? And as the debate raged within NASA, Arguments flared, some shouting it was nothing but a strange atmospheric phenomenon, others insisting it was a living entity, a being of pure energy or matter beyond our comprehension. But the images kept piling in, each one darker, clearer, more impossible to ignore, with the shadow bending in unnatural ways, casting outlines that seemed almost humanoid one moment, serpentine the next, and vast towering structures at another, as if it was a canvas of alien forms, shifting and reshaping in real time. And then came the most disturbing moment of all, when one of the orbiters recorded the shadow splitting into two, then three, like it had divided itself, each fragment moving separately before merging again into one seamless darkness. A behavior no dust cloud or natural event could ever mimic, and whispers spread across the agency that perhaps Mars was not just a planet, but a stage, a theater where something ancient and intelligent was playing out a drama we could barely comprehend. And as strange as it seemed, some began to wonder if the shadow was aware of us, reacting to our machines, our presence, our gaze, almost taunting us with appearances just long enough to keep us questioning, never long enough to prove its existence beyond doubt. And the mystery deepened further when researchers stumbled upon recordings from Perseverance, sounds captured during routine microphone tests. Faint but distinct, a low droning resonance that appeared only when the shadow was seen nearby. A sound not caused by wind, not caused by machinery, but something external, alien, echoing like a voice carried through the thin Martian atmosphere. A voice we couldn't translate, a signal we weren't meant to understand. And the chilling question remained, was Mars haunted by remnants of an ancient race, or was this the planet itself, alive in ways we could never have imagined, projecting a presence to remind us that we were trespassing on sacred ground? Because each new shadow sighting coincided eerily with times when rovers drilled the soil, when orbiters scanned deeper layers, when humans dared to dig into the planet's secrets, and it felt less like coincidence and more like a warning. A silent message saying, "Stop, go no further, you are not alone here." And deep inside the minds of those working long nights at NASA, the fear grew that maybe this wasn't a mystery we were supposed to solve. Maybe this was one of those cosmic secrets that should have remained hidden. Because if the shadow was not just a trick of light, but an intelligence cloaked in darkness, then what did it want? Why did it move across barren plains with purpose? Why did it let itself be seen now, in this age of cameras and probes, after centuries of silence? And what if, just what if it wasn't showing itself to everyone, but only to us, carefully choosing when and how to reveal its presence, guiding us towards something we couldn't yet see, a truth so enormous, so terrifying, that when finally uncovered, it could change not only the way we see Mars, but the way we see the universe itself. Because a moving shadow on Mars may not just mean life. It could mean power, it could mean control. It could mean that Mars is not just a dead world waiting for us to colonize, but a world already occupied, and its occupants might not welcome our arrival the way we imagined. And as those thoughts lingered in late-night discussions, scientists sat in silence, staring at the dark images on their screens, feeling as though the shadow was staring right back, studying them, waiting patiently, biding its time, as if this was only the beginning of a story much larger than we could ever write, and humanity was about to become a character in a tale that Mars had been telling long before we learned to dream of the stars.